All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Sistisla, and I'm here at the Arm Hug podcast. I'm here with our next incredible guest. Her name is Katie Gillberg. She is the founder and CEO of Hydrate IV Bar. And I'm so glad to have her here because we're always talking about what people should be doing or working on in terms of services. And Katie's going to be talking more about the people. So, Katie, can you get us started a little bit about you?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on here. And I'm so proud of our team and love telling our story. So, a little bit about us. Like you said, I founded Hydrate IV Bar in 2016 in Denver.
Um,
We are a wellness spa specializing in IV therapy and vitamin injections. We have physical brick and mortars. We, of course, can provide mobile services, but really our our bread and butter is inside our spas. We're open 7 days a week. It's very accessible to the clients, and to date, I'm now a franchisor. So we decided
wow.
to start franchising, growing, spreading our wings. So we have spas in Colorado, Texas, Arizona, and Utah. We're opening our 18th spa this weekend, and we have about 20 more in development, reaching out to the southeast soon. So it's been a whirlwind in just under 8 years.
That's amazing. Like, what do you do when your team is growing so big? How do you keep that? How do you keep everybody in check or in line with in terms of keeping that positive energy or keep people in this space where they can be honest with you and authentic about any
Yeah.
problems?
I mean, I could take this question in three different ways. So first of all, just to kind of back up, I there are, IV therapy is hugely popular. And, in 2016, when we were starting, it was a little bit more, what are you doing? And why should we be doing this? And we were educating a lot. We still educate a lot, but it was very much, it felt like we were trying to convince people that this was a good idea. And nowadays it's much more, commonly, it's more common practice. And even just the wellness community in general, it's shifted. And so our differentiators from the beginning, when I built the business, we were just focused on having one successful spa. I didn't know I'd have multiple at the time. I didn't know I'd be a franchisor at the time. And I think I truly believe that because of the culture I created from the beginning, and we just stayed so laser focused and then let the growth be really organic. And so 100%, the team, the people I hire, the people I've surrounded myself with is why we've been successful. Um, Starting the business, I thought I could do the marketing and the bookkeeping, and I'd work our front desk, and I would do everything operationally. And then I have amazing medical professionals that I could lean on for the clinical side. And I did a lot of things, but not as well as we do them now. So I can't stress enough when people are going into business or even building their businesses, like finding your tribe around you. I always hire for people that are more experienced than me, that have skills that I don't have, that are smarter than me, that can bring me up. And so that's been hugely popular, and then or made us successful. And then also, you tapped on this, just values. So our company values, like from the beginning, um, wellness. We're obviously the wellness industry. Practice what you preach. Everyone on my team, if they don't believe in what we're doing, if they're not, enjoying their services themselves, I just feel like, how are you going to be authentic, even when we're talking to, we're converting members or we're
Yeah.
upselling packages. I never want it to be. It's very much a tell, don't sell. Like, speak from experience, speak from your heart, give true, authentic recommendations. That sells our services. So finding a team that really believes in what you're doing. So going back to our values: wellness, service, servicing others. We're obviously in the service industry, and that's what makes our business model and this atmosphere so unique compared to a traditional hospital setting, is the service we're providing. Fun. You have to have fun. I mean, I tell my team, we all have hard days. But if you're not happy to be here, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then let me help you find your find your fun and find your happy somewhere else. But I really expect people to enjoy what they're doing. Um, let's see, wellness, service, fun, kindness, just in life in general, be kind to others. You get so much further in life when you're kind, and teamwork. So really, obviously the nurses stay in their lane. They have that skill. They do that job. No one that's a non-clinician can start an IV. But really, there's nothing in our day-to-days that not everyone can help out with. And I even talk about our franchise owners. As an owner, if you're not willing to step in and take out the trash or plunge a toilet or do the dirty work that people don't want to do, how do you expect your staff to do that for you? So I mean, I don't even like calling them my employees or staff. I sometimes they'll call me the boss, and I'm like cringe a little bit because I want it to be, we are a team. I'm your leader. I'm the keeper of the culture, but we are all in this together. I rely on them just as much as they rely on me for a job. Um, and then our last value is community. And community is something that is just, I think it's so important. This kind of goes back to building your tribe and the people around you. But when we go into new markets and when we tap into, when we look at site selection, looking at the community and the other small businesses that you can serve, that 3 to 5 mile radius around your spa is going to be a majority of your clientele. So how can you engage? How can you give back? We are huge in philanthropy. We have the Katie Cocktail Partnership, which we can talk about later.
Awesome.
But serving your community, giving back to your community, joining the local chambers, that's all people. And I think all of these values really tie back into the people around you. Do you enjoy being with them? Are they happy? Are they kind? And I would argue that it doesn't matter what your business is, if you can start with that foundation, it will help you be so much more successful in whatever you are doing.
That's a
I
great.
went a few different, I'm like, I could keep going with this question.
No,
I
this
love it.
is
I
so
love
good.
people. I mean, obviously we love servicing people. But yeah, those are our values at Hydrate IV Bar.
And why do you think it's more important now that this is something that you guys are continuing to focus on? I mean, you're talking about expanding, you're talking about more services, and that means that also you're probably hiring more people to join your tribe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was one of my biggest fears, even with franchising, is I was dragging my feet. Like, who's going to love this business like I do? I mean, this was my baby, and I take so much pride in my spas and my team. And I was a little bit protective of that. And then I realized, there are other people that are aligned with us, and we just have to be very intentional. I mean, we're very intentional with our growth, and the people kind of we let in. And there's, of course, there's different assessments and tools that you can do to kind of look at personalities. And but we just really spend the time getting to know people. And even when we, whether it's our franchise owners or nurses that are going to come work with me, yes, we're talking about IV therapy, but I really want to get to know them on a deeper level. What do you do for your own wellness routine? How do you, what does your self-care look like? How do you manage conflict? Tell me about a hard time in life. Like, I want to talk about not all just the bells and whistles and shiny things, because I really want to understand like their why. Why do you want this job? Why do you want to be an owner? Is it for money and dollar signs? Well, I don't know that that's going to get you through the hard days and the ups and downs with us. So we're large. I mean, we're in multiple states, and we have, almost 20 locations. And so it is a big footprint and a big team, but it still feels quite like tight and small because it is so intentional. And it's just, as we continue to grow, we overcomplicate, or we don't overcomplicate, hopefully. We over communicate to everyone on every level, to our vendors, to our partners, to our clients. Like, it is on our wall. We are talking about our values, we're checking ourselves, we're holding each other accountable. And so I think, especially with teams and people want to be heard, whether it's clients or your employees. And so really making sure we always have that open line of communication and checking in with people. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Are they, are they pulling their weight? How can we be better? And we're really holding each other accountable. But it's very, very collaborative, and they hold me accountable as well. It's not always easy and fun. I mean, business can be very hard. It can be dark. It can be stressful, and you have to be able to tap into that why. And I cannot imagine doing it without the support system that we've built.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the little world that you guys are creating.
Thank you.
And
It's fun. I like it too. I mean, I still have, I mean, I'm motivated by it every single day. And even, the business has been a fantastic business model. It's been profitable. I've seen myself, I've seen our franchise owners, I've seen my employees, like, you know, make money and do things that they didn't really know was possible. I mean, nurses that could use their skills in a setting outside of the hospital, former employees of mine who now own their own spas and are reaching profits that maybe they didn't think were possible. So that is all rewarding and amazing. But and just being able to see, I mean, first and foremost, it goes back to the clients and like the impact that we're making on them, and to see that we've been able to, build kind of this system and branch out into new markets to ultimately make these services more accessible to other people. We are in a feel good space. I mean, people come to us, it's an elective service, they're choosing to be there. And even just, we're very big on setting the whole experience. So the atmosphere, everything from when you walk in, I expect our team to stand up and greet you with a smile. I mean, that first interaction, that energy it matters so much. And then, greeting, going back to a chair, you're getting a blanket, and there's essential oils, like the smell, the everything in there matters. Having plants, so just setting that tone already gets people to shift into a certain mindset. And then you add the benefits of our services on top of that. And people in an hour, I mean, it's unbelievable how much better they feel when they leave. And so that's what really, I mean, it motivates all of us. Not only do we love the services ourselves, but when you see clients every single day, all day, feeling so much better and leaving with a smile, I mean, you feel unstoppable.
yeah, yeah. And now to talk a little bit about those moments that are not so great. Uh,
Yeah.
what
Oh
a
boy, here we go. I'm
no,
gonna say I'll roll up
no,
my sleeves. I don't have sleeves on.
no, not a hard question.
I'll
It's
get into it with you.
involving like the clients that may not have had the great experiences that most of
Yeah.
them do.
Yeah,
Instead of trying to convince them, because I feel like I've learned firsthand, like some clients are just the way they are. And
sure.
we're trying to like be on a place where it's like we're just going to control the actions that we can going forward. We
Sure.
can't really help them anymore because we've tried. What can you say to people who are going through that, and any advice?
Absolutely. Setting expectations is hugely important. And we have just learned this over time. In the beginning, I think I expected everyone to love it
Mhm.
as much as I did, or everyone to feel as great. And to be honest, every visit is a little bit different. I mean, sometimes like say a Myers cocktail, or our spin on it is a Katie cocktail. So this is kind of your kitchen sink. And it really depends on where my body is at that time. What is my stress load? How did I sleep the night before? Was I drinking alcohol or not? Did I work out this morning? So there's so many different factors. Am I under the weather? Am I fighting a cold? So you have to look at like what is your baseline that day, and how I feel after one of our services varies every time. Sometimes the magnesium makes me so relaxed, and I'm like, I'm checking out and I need a nap. That's what I need after this. Sometimes the B vitamins, especially if I get an NAD injection, I am like buzzed. Get me my computer. I am going a million miles per hour, and I'm going to be like the most productive person ever. Sometimes I feel no different. And so setting those expectations for our clients is so hugely important, because I do think people come to us thinking they're going to have this like euphoric feeling, and out of body, like, oh my gosh, vitamin C is, it's,
Right.
we know vitamin C and zinc and vitamin D are great for your immune system. Are you going to feel that? Probably not. Um, so over communicating. I mean, that is a lot of the dialogue and the coaching that we do with our team, and the service that we hope to provide is getting people, we're asking questions. How do you feel today? What is, what's going on? What are you hoping to achieve? How do you want to feel when you leave? And really trying to customize and tailor it to meet their expectations. And then also recognizing that this service isn't for everyone, and that's okay. We're not going to, you know, first and foremost, we're providing a medical service. And so when it comes to medical care, our medical team, our clinicians, they have every right. Like, although we say all are welcome, and this service is not appropriate for everyone, and our medical team has the right to say no, and to tell people that maybe, basically to turn someone away. And in those cases, like, people don't like that, and those can be really hard conversations sometimes, especially when a nurse is used to treating everyone in a hospital. So how do you politely say, this service isn't appropriate for you today in this setting? You need to be seen in an emergency unit or an urgent care, or again, this is an elective service. We really, our brand is for healthy adults. So it's not for everyone. You have to give grace. You want to be kind and polite, and 99% of the time, especially when it goes back to, we are looking out for your safety. That is why we are not doing this today. We are going to err on the side of caution. We really need you to see, go to an additional provider. People are thankful for that. So if you just explain the why. So that's kind of the medical side. Those ones are easy to say, this isn't appropriate, or we're so sorry, we're not able to service you. I'm going to tell a funny story because this is coming to top of mind, but it's very rare that we get a negative review. We welcome all feedback. We want all feedback. Some of the feedback that we may get that people are unhappy about, I think they expect this setting to be, the price point is what it is. It's a great experience. We want the service to be, top notch. So then they're expecting everything to be like top notch as well. And so every now and then, if someone gets a bruise because we entered their vein, and that is very common, there are people that may get very unhappy with that. And so that's something that, I talk about, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But even communicating that, please leave this Coban on to reduce the risk of bruising, but it can happen. Like, introducing that and going back to over communicating. But the funny review I wanted to tell you is the very first bad review we ever got was on Yelp. And I cried and cried and cried. I took it so personally. And I thought, oh my gosh, my business, I'm doomed for. And I laugh about it now because I'm like, it's hilarious. So the review said, I don't know why everyone says this place is so relaxing. The TV is too big and the owner talks too much. And I was like, oh my gosh. And being a brand new business owner, I'm like, I wanted to respond and be like, like,
Yeah.
argue with them, and no, and I don't talk to, I mean, I love talking, but I'm educating people, and I'm trying, and our TV, and I was so defensive. And that's where I, like, took a few deep breaths, take it offline. You have to, you want to respond to every review, but the internet is not the place to go back and forth and argue. So take something offline, but you do want to respond and acknowledge it and have them be heard. But looking back at that, that is a perfect example. And if other people were to see that, this person never got a service. They were a guest of a client that was getting the service. So it said nothing about, the service that we were providing, the clinical side of it. This was an opinion and someone that maybe was having a bad day and didn't like me. And so I use that as an example a lot with our franchise owners, that, like, this isn't for everyone. Not everyone's going to love you, and that's okay. As long as we know that we are providing, this service safely, the benefits are way more beneficial than, the few people that may not like it or agree with you.
That's crazy. And I completely understand your reaction because, you're looking for someone to say something, right? But not that. I'm like,
I
okay.
think I called my mom. I was like, I'm so offended. This hurts. And I think it's hilarious now.
Yeah.
So
It-
you also learn to just build some thick skin and, you know, is anyone hurt? No. Okay. What's how do we manage how you get worked up?
yeah, it's like, thank you for letting me know about my TV screen.
Yeah.
No, all we can get.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for that story and just like I can hear in your voice like how much you think about others that are in not on your team, but the patients that are going in
Yeah.
your service, that are using your services, that are like thinking about what you're providing and maybe that have been referred.
Hmm.
So you feel that a lot of your expansion has also to do with word of mouth, like you're talking a lot about these reviews and,
Yep.
you know, do you also let the nurses know about the reviews and things that you've heard?
Yes. So we are one of our favorite quotes is you move what you measure. So we track everything. We have KPIs for everything. And not only is that, we're looking at first time clients, who were they referred by? How did they hear about us? We're looking at membership conversions and what our retention rate is. We are measuring every one of our reviews. And yes, we talk to every single employee at every level about this. We set goals, we communicate these goals, we say them out loud, we post them. You move what you measure. And we have, there's times where we've had teams or maybe I haven't been as good about committing to it or holding people accountable. And then, if I'm not watching it, then all of a sudden they don't watch it. And then on the day to day, they're not watching it. So it is a practice that we commit to every single day, every spot, every level. This is a lot of what we coach our owners and their teams on is how important it is to measure all of these things. And ultimately, our employees, they want, it's a way to like one-on-one coach with them. They want the feedback, they welcome the feedback. So, um, with that said, as well, I mean, I'm so proud of our team. We have um, incredible nurses and spa coordinators that work with us, that work with the spas. And I always tell them, my job is to get people in the door, and your job is to keep them coming back. But our retention is phenomenal. It is very rare that someone is unhappy. Our word of mouth personal referrals is slam dunk. It doesn't matter how much money we put into marketing, word of mouth um, is our biggest referral source. And so we really lean into that. And we want our members, I mean, we want them to feel special. We want them to know how much we appreciate them. So yes, we are tracking these metrics. We're talking about it with our whole team. Our our general manager is just fantastic about not only coaching on maybe some of the areas of opportunity, but really giving people shout outs, recognizing them. We have group chats with all of our team. And, I'm referring to our corporate team right now. So between 5 corporate spas that I have, we have a team of about 40 people, nurses and non nurses. And so we have a thread going, and it's constantly like giving shout outs for this person. And it might be because of a review that was online or, any sort of feedback. And that just helps the team morale. People want to be recognized. And they deserve to. And then they continue to do a good job. And it's just, it's motivating and it's fun. And it makes me really proud kind of seeing from afar how supportive everyone is. Um, yeah, it's hugely important. And I was, I think about this too, even our members, we have so many members. I have employees that have been with me over 7 years. So that in itself is like insane. I mean, they are family members now. They weren't family before, but they feel like family now. I mean, we've watched each other get married. We've seen each other have kids. We have um it's incredible what we've like accomplished together over the years. So that is really, really special. But we have members who have been with us from day one. I mean, I have one of our very first clients, he was member number 3, and we joke with him all the time about that. And he still comes in once a month and is the biggest fan, and we love it. It's incredible.
I could see why. I mean, there's something really infectious about this that you're building. It's like, I want to be a part of
Oh.
this. Like, how do we be a part of
I
like I
hope
want
so.
to
I
know.
mean, I love that. Thank you.
Like it's really important though. I mean, how do you keep people involved in things? Is to do fun things and engage, right? Even
Yeah,
if it's like, hey, we've got some comments about something, like don't take it, offensively. It's like, oh, it's feedback. Like, let's listen.
yeah,
We are doing something wrong or right.
sure.
So,
Well, and I think I'm the first one. I'm vulnerable with our team as well. I mean, I'm the first one to admit if I made, the wrong decision or a mistake. And, I'm dropping really cheesy quotes on this, but you're either learning or you're winning. Or really you're winning or you're learning.
I love it.
And so I think being vulnerable, authentic, even if that's with a client, like own if someone has an appointment and we're 15 minutes late to servicing their appointment because we didn't have our ish together in the morning, like own that and make it right. And it might be something as, we acknowledge like this is on us and we appreciate you and thank you for your patience. And, they're not going to remember that. They're going to remember how they left and how you made them feel when they left. So maybe we're giving them a complimentary add-on or injection. Um, so, I'm very much like own it. And, even with our owners, I tell them, new franchisees that are looking at our brand compared to some other brands, I am not here to say that I haven't been in franchising for 50 years. We don't have 1,000 units. This isn't how we've been doing it for 20. I mean, we are an emerging brand. We are learning, but our owners have a seat at the table, and that's not for everyone, but the ones that are joining us love it. And I need them as much as they need me. And so we are growing and evolving. And if someone is scared of change, then this business, our business may not be for you because one, the industry is constantly changing. And we're in our newness where our technology stack and our menu and like we are constantly evolving and growing and seeing how we can improve and make ourselves better. And for some people, that's probably like, if that's going to make you so uncomfortable, then this isn't the team. But if you like that and that excites you and you want to be like part of it with us, I also, our owners really love that. And I think it's very important that not only, am I the franchisor, but I have 5 corporate spas. So I'm in it in the day to day with them. I have to fire employees. I have to handle client complaints. I have, my electricity goes out as well. My HVAC goes out. So we're in it with them and being like very vulnerable with that and trying not to be perfect. Like I make mistakes too. And I just think, life's too short. We can't take everything too seriously. And it sounds exhausting to try and be perfect.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was the last question I had. That's literally our 30-minute
Yeah.
mark. I
I
don't know what else to say. Awesome. I'm
I
so
love it. It's fun. No, this is like I so appreciate it. And you had really great questions.
yeah, no, I think I'm gonna be the first to say it. Katie's gonna be big. I don't know. You guys have to go follow what she's doing, what they're doing, the way you're speaking about
Thank
everything.
you.
I mean, you're a people person, and I think that that is huge. So, whew,
Thank you. You're so sweet. I really appreciate that.
so I'm gonna go ahead and end this session, but thank you so much for joining us. And I know I will be seeing more of what you're doing in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.